Hello everybody, welcome back to our famous little WWE talk, and I apologize for a very long hiatus, but last time we had talked, Seth Rollins was the champion, but then months after I had my last show, unfortunately he got injured at one of the live events, which led to him having to vacate the title. And shortly after he vacated the title, Roman Reigns won the belt at Survivor Series, which a lot of people weren't very thrilled about it, but he's now becoming one of the main guys. But the problem with Roman Reigns, I do love the guy, don't get me wrong, and I like him because he's a great wrestler, but the problem that a lot of people don't like him is because they feel he's being pushed the same way as Cena. To a certain extent, I can kind of see where they're coming from, but at the same token, Roman is not the same type of wrestler Cena is. He actually sells and puts on very good matches and everything, but it's really the way the writers are having him be the way he is on TV with the whole pushing back and forth or switching the title back and forth. I mean, it's not fully his fault. He's just doing a job for WWE, but the thing that annoys me so much is when people online go and bashing the guy like he's another John Cena. It's like, guys, it's the way he's just doing his job on TV. It's not his fault the way he's being pushed. But in the end, I am glad he finally won the title for real at WrestleMania, even though unfortunately his title reign only lasted a couple months due to unfortunate wellness tests that he failed, but only to find out it was not like a party drug or some crap like that. But anyway, but ever since Roman Reigns lost the title, there's been a lot that's happened since the last time we had a show, where back in the middle of the summer in July, they introduced the brand split, where certain wrestlers from NXT and certain wrestlers from SmackDown were drafted to either Raw or SmackDown and vice versa. In the beginning, Raw was doing actually pretty good with the brand split when they first started, but now I'm kind of seeing it's going back to being a little bit boring, where they're doing a lot more promos, a lot more replays, and doing a lot less wrestling. And it's great that they're now bringing the cruiserweights onto the show and letting them have a shot in the time slots and all that stuff, which I think the cruiserweights are a great addition to the show. They should keep it going. What they do need to improve on with Raw is do a lot less promos, do a lot less replays, and just tell a story. I mean, that's why people are into wrestling, is for them to show storytelling and having actual matches to support what they're doing. So, and on that note, let's talk about the women's division, which, and since I had my last show, they actually introduced the Women's Revolution last July, which is actually a really good women's revolution. They brought Sasha Banks, Charlotte, and Becky Lynch onto the main roster, and they all formed their own little teams. Sasha Banks went on to become a team bad with Tamina and Naomi, while Charlotte teamed up with Becky Lynch and Paige, calling them Team PCB, and then the Bella Twins had their own team, which was called Team Bella, which had Nikki Brie and Alicia Fox. Overall, the Women's Revolution was very good, although I did see some issues with the Women's Revolution where there wasn't always set feuds, and when Charlotte became the Divas champion, she was on fire a lot before she became Divas champion, but after it, she really started slowing down a lot. She wasn't on as fire during her matches, but then after a while, it finally led to her turning into a heel at around the time of the Royal Rumble, and then she started following a lot of her father's path with whole cheating to win matches and stuff. Although I do like how the fact that they're bringing a lot of the new women onto WWE and being able to showcase themselves, and women's wrestling now has become a long way compared to what it used to be, where everyone can actually wrestle a very good match and where people can actually tune into that match and not go to the bathroom during the women's matches. So they've actually proven themselves a lot, and I think that's very important. Sasha Banks is really one of the greatest wrestlers there, and some people have their own criticism of her, which is she needs promo work. I mean, to tell you the truth, she's not a bad promo talker. That, of course, is just my opinion, but I think she's one of the greatest women's wrestlers they have on Raw, alongside Charlotte. Although, one thing I wasn't very thrilled with recently at Hell in a Cell, where Vince apparently got mad about the table not breaking towards the end of the match, but it's not Sasha's fault really to get mad over a table breaking. Come on, Vince. Not everybody's gonna be a big guy for them to be able to slam through a table. I mean, Sasha had to be forced to the announce table in there, and that's how it broke. But because of the weight factor, that's why tables don't always break. I mean, yeah, you don't have to be thrilled with the outcome, but again, you can't always expect exactly what you want to be because you're picturing these people to be big guys. I mean, but my other problem is about them switching the women's belt back and forth a little bit. It's almost like they're not making up their mind with what they're doing with the women's title. Well, one minute they want Sasha to be champion, next minute Charlotte's the champion. It's like, what direction are you going through with this? I mean, I understand they're trying to wait for a big build-up for Bayley to become the women's champion, waiting for WrestleMania time, and I understand WrestleMania will be 4 months down the alleyway, but you really got to figure out what you're doing with your women's division because at this point it's not making as much sense as it should. So, but overall, I can say the one thing that's really good going on with Raw right now is the Kevin Owens and Jericho going on, with Jericho putting people on the list and saying, "You just made the list." I think that is so funny. He just randomly puts people on the list when people provoke him and stuff, and then calling people stupid idiots. That is
You're on
funny.
the list.
Keep it going. That needs to keep going. That is so funny. Just keep it going, guys. It's the best thing going on for Jericho right now, so just keep it up. And Kevin Owens is now the Universal Champion, and before him we had the Universal Champion Finn Balor, but unfortunately the night of SummerSlam he unfortunately got an injury that made him be out of action, and he had to relinquish the belt the following night, which was too bad. I was looking forward to having Finn Balor be the champion for quite some time, but I understand injuries happen, so he has to do what he has to do. So we had to get a new champion. So, but I'm actually glad Kevin Owens is now the champion because he's deserved it for a long time, and I'm just glad they're finally giving him that chance now. So now on that note, now that I'm done talking about Raw, now it's time for the Beast to talk about SmackDown.
Finally, god damn, that was forever. I'm sorry for my friend here. He just wanted to explain everything, but yes, it's been a while. It's been time. You know, we had to come back. It's been forever. If you smell, all right, that's enough now. We don't want copyright issues. So then, long story short, like he said, we left off pretty much before the draft, before all this mess, where we had just simply Seth Rollins as champion running the whole WWE. And tell me, that was the greatest thing WWE had did for the moment time being. Now then, we are now up to date. The draft is here again. Now here's what a lot of people seem to forget. The draft before in the past was really not that good. It was only good for about like a year or two, you know, see all your big superstars like Chris Benoit, Triple H, all of them on the different brands. And yes, I'm gonna say that name because I'm still a Chris Benoit fan. Fuck you. Now then, with the whole brand split, things have seemed a little bit different, but the sad part is in ratings, the ratings has been dropping a lot. But I feel like that problem is mostly because we're not really focusing on wrestling. It seems like we're just focusing on dumb ideas throughout the storylines. Alright, now we already have Raw talked through, so I'm not going to run through that. We'll save that for another episode. SmackDown. SmackDown has actually gotten top-notch better since they made it live. Now I know what you're thinking. That shouldn't be. It should be going Raw being the top brand, always good. SmackDown, the lower brand, doing so-so. Oddly enough now, thanks with the help of AJ Styles, Dean Ambrose, John Cena, Randy Orton, Daniel Bryan, Bray Wyatt, and the greatest man ever, Shane McMahon, all running SmackDown. It's literally made SmackDown to the top level in my eyes. Now yes, Raw got Mick Foley and they got Stephanie, but let's face it, we're tired of Stephanie. Stephanie, we've seen you enough. Okay, we understand, McMahon's run the business. We got that. Get off the screen. And Mick Foley, you're a legend. I can't take that away from you. Real hardcore legend. You obviously see with the ECW shirt. ECW all day, every day. But then with SmackDown, we got great shows and great recaps going on now to where today, the draft is starting to look a little To me, it's starting to feel like this whole split is really just a desperate attempt. It is not really working too much. And you know the saddest part about it? It sounds like I'm just badding off the company. I'm not. I'm a wrestling fan. I've been a wrestling fan since I was about like 6 years old. I've been watching all the matches. My first match was SmackDown, which is why I chose SmackDown. The first ever WWE match I've ever seen in my life. Triple H against The Rock. The main event of SmackDown. The first episode of SmackDown. Many of y'all don't even remember that. Some of y'all kids don't even know that. That's sad. SmackDown. Why is James Ellsworth the top-notch event? No, seriously. You have main eventers going at it over and over again. AJ Styles, John Cena, Dean Ambrose, but then the biggest pop, the biggest hype is James Ellsworth. A random jobber that nobody knows where he came from, but oddly enough, he has 2 victories over the phenomenal one. That's not supposed to happen. But that's why I like SmackDown, because they mix up things that you wouldn't expect. Now then, we got James Ellsworth. He's been a clown. He's been a nuisance. He's been in the way of matches, ruining main events. But he's funny, and I like him. He's entertaining. He's part of that underdog scene of SmackDown that you wouldn't think you'll see. I mean, let's think about this. He's really just the second version of Damien Mizdow. Convinced? I am. Because pretty much he's not following nobody, but you can see him as like a little Dean. Like he looks like Dean's little brother who's just scared to get in the ring, and he's just so happy to get in the ring when his big brother gets in the ring all the time. Oh God, I hate James Ellsworth so much. But yeah, he's a great addition. I feel like SmackDown should keep him going, but take him out the main event spot. That's a little bit much. The women's scene on SmackDown. We recently just had our championship match finally after Becky Lynch came to a weird injury. Thank God she's all right. And what we saw was what we saw. She retained, but under some real sneaky type of winning. Really, no, you can't really blame her too much. The ref is just kind of stupid. Because I don't understand how the face tapped out the heel, but yet the heel had his foot on the ropes and the ref don't see it. What? The ref don't seem to notice a lot of things. The ref don't ever see when the good guy gets attacked by the bad guy in tag team matches. The ref don't ever seems to notice whenever something good is going on in the ring because he's always looking for somebody to yell at. But yet the ref only can do something good once in a blue moon. Like when it's a big ass main event match at a pay-per-view and he just so happened to finally notice all the bullshit going on around the ring and then he finally knocks everybody out the side. But yeah, the ref is very special. All in all, I think it was a good match. Hands down, I feel like the women's division is getting better. In the case of what the Punisher has said before, the women's division was the greatest upgrade that they ever did in wrestling. There has always been a lot of good female wrestlers over time. You had Trish Stratus, Lita. People don't think about it. They was wrestlers. At the end of the day, they was not the divas that you was looking for doing bra and panties as badly as they was thrown into the matches. They was wrestlers. Jacqueline, wrestler. Jazz, wrestler. Now look at what we got. Becky Lynch, Charlotte, Paige. Oh my God. Paige, you need to come back. I know we have some issues going on. Don't let WWE take you off that street. We need you to be a champion the third time in a row, okay? Anyway, the women's division has definitely gotten better. Right now on SmackDown, who do we got? Who we got for us? We got Carmella. We got Naomi. We got Becky Lynch, the champion. Oh yeah, Alexa Bliss, of course. We got Alexa Bliss who came to a good fight. I think Alexa Bliss will be a good addition to SmackDown. I think she's going to be a great heel. Just give her a little bit more time and I think she'll be ready for that title. And of course we got many other, and of course we got Nikki Bella came back. Now, I'll state this now. From the old show, if you remember from the old show, I would get pissed every time Punisher would decide to say, hey, let's do a quick review on Total Divas. We're leaving that alone this time. There is no Total Divas this time. It's only going to be female wrestling, SmackDown, Raw, NXT, and if y'all like to, we could review some indie shows. I'm more on the indie side of wrestling, but I'm not going to break down into that. Right now, we're going to keep it just SmackDown and Raw for this show because you're just getting back. You got to get welcomed. You got to see who you're working with again. And as you know, the Beast is very energized now. He's back. He's ready than ever. I'm ready to take Team Blue down the line and take down Raw any single time. Because for the rest of the show, I'm Team SmackDown. Yes, I will still have my ECW shirt whenever you ask for it. But I'm mainly Team SmackDown, while Punisher will be Team Raw. So if you have any suggestions, let us know. If you have anything interest, let us know. And I promise, next show we will stick to actually doing reviews. This was more of a recap, so I hope you guys enjoyed. We'll please see you next time. Please comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff, because High and Beyond is back and ever. We're going to make the show 10 times better. Until then, I am the Beast. I've been joined by the Punisher, and this has been High and Beyond Show.